Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for part 2 of the Q&A, so let's go ahead and get this started. Alright, first question. Hey Jason, what are your thoughts on using angled football bar for overhead press and bench press? I have a bicep tendonitis issue, so I can't overhead press with a straight bar. Should I keep rotating different grips on my football bar to avoid overuse, or stick to one grip which doesn't bother my biceps? Thanks. What are my thoughts? I think the thing to keep in mind with the football bar is that the biggest complaint against the barbell for overhead pressing is going to be exacerbated. Because already you have to have the bar forward, you have to lay back just to clear your face, which is where most of the technique involved with the overhead press is with the barbell, if you're standing at least. And that's going to be even more pronounced with the football bar. And it's for obvious reasons if you look at the shape of the bar. It has to be even further forward. As far as the angled part, I don't really get into the debate of the angled versus the full straight handles. I don't think it's enough of a difference to matter. But could you do them due to your bicep tendonitis issue? Kind of an interesting situation you have there. I don't know that that's the best solution. Maybe you need to resolve your bicep tendonitis and figure out what's causing that. Because that really shouldn't be an issue on your bench pressing and particularly your overhead pressing. Okay, you need to work through and see if you can fix that, because you're looking hopefully at a short-term situation. If you have tendonitis there, you need to be working on rehabbing that tendonitis, not finding permanent fixes and variations to move away from standard exercises. Now, that being said, that's the beauty of specialty bars. Okay, that is the beauty of specialty bars in general, is that when we're dealing with different problems, overuse issues, injuries, tendonitis, inflammation, we can rotate bars to avoid that. And specialty bars are particularly good for shoulder issues. They are particularly good for shoulder issues in general. That's one of the reasons a lot of them were even developed. And it makes sense. Look at the rackable cambered bar, the safety squat bar, football bars. All those things are originally developed to help work around shoulder issues. Now, in your case, though, again, you're dealing with a bicep issue. And I think that's perfectly reasonable as a short-term fix while you work on rehabbing that area. But here's the thing to think about. Bicep tendonitis is not being caused by your pressing. Okay? You're feeling it during your pressing. You need to figure out what's causing that tendonitis, and you need to resolve that. Are you trying to low bar squat? Is that contributing? Okay, that's a big one. Something you're doing with your chin-ups. So you need to find the root cause of the problem, remove it, fix it, work on rehabbing the area. Just keeping in mind what you're suggesting right now is a short-term fix. This is not a long-term solution. And it's perfectly viable in the short term so that you can keep pressing. I have no issue with what you're doing. I have no issue with you even changing the grips. Okay, not a problem. Just keeping in mind that it is a band-aid fix, and it's there as a temporary way to alleviate the issue so that you can still do these exercises. It is not a cure. You need to fix the problem. All right, next question. If heat makes oil rancid, which it doesn't, by the way, why is this not the case for the oil found in cooked foods? Correct me if I'm wrong. Heated fish oil would render it useless or even it unhealthy and is not suggested. Does this apply to cooking salmon since its oil and healthy fats are still being heated? I don't know. You lost me. I'm not even sure what you're talking about. Okay, the issue with most plant oils is that they go rancid no matter what. Okay, they go rancid no matter what. This is one of the reasons that hydrogenated oils became a thing, which we know kills us. You shouldn't be eating hydrogenated oils. So if you're eating trans fats, you don't care about your health at all. I'm just going to call it like it is, okay, period. In fact, I'm going to go so far as to say if we're even cooking with oils, it's questionable if you care about your health at all, and that includes coconut oil. I don't want to hear that you keto tarts. Okay, drinking processed liquid fat. The problem with a lot of the heating the oils is that it damages the omega-6 fats. It creates a damaged form of fat that may not be as useful to your body. Okay, may not have a lot of the benefits that we want. It becomes a damaged form of fat. They go rancid no matter what, just sitting on the shelf. And it's the same thing with your fish. What do you mean? Will it go rancid? Yeah, if you cook fish and you go put it in the refrigerator for 3 weeks, or you put it on the shelf in your pantry for 3 weeks, and you come back and try to eat that fish, it's going to be rancid. Of course it will. So the same thing applies, right? That makes sense? Oils go rancid over time from sitting there. And the same thing with your cooking oil. I mean, yeah, it's going rancid. It's not going rancid just because you cooked it. It's going rancid because you left it sitting in the pan. Like a lot of times someone will leave oil in like a fryer for days or a week or 2 weeks and reuse it. Well, you have food particles and other stuff you've cooked into there from whatever you've cooked in it, and it goes bad. It's rotten. Yeah, it goes rancid. Okay? And your fish will too. Yeah, you can't leave salmon that you've cooked in the refrigerator for 3 weeks and come back and eat it. It's not a good idea. That's what you're talking about with the rancid oil. Okay, does that make sense? And usually things were hydrogenated and stuff to help resist that. Now, as far as the high heat, yeah, it does damage plant oils in the omega-6 fats. It's one reason some people choose to do animal stuff that's saturated, because saturated fats don't break down the same way under heat. Okay? Hydrogenating oils basically takes the process of taking a plant-based oil and hydrogenating it and making it into a saturated fat. It's an artificial saturated fat. As far as cooking your salmon, probably not. You're breaking some of it down. There's not a lot in there, and you're not cooking it, hopefully, for extreme periods of time. Okay, you're not deep frying it. You're not deep frying it, but does that damage polyunsaturated fats over time? Of course it does. Of course it does. But you only need trace amounts of them anyway, so that what's found in the fish, you're destroying some of it, absolutely. Is it enough to make it useless? Probably not. If you're throwing it in the deep fryer and you're frying fish in oils, they do in the UK with fish and chips, well, yeah, you're running into some of the same long-term problems anyways. You're deep frying your foods in oil. You probably don't care about your health. Okay. Next question and last question of the week. I am doing conjugate with max effort rotating of lifts. Well, obviously. And rep. Effort, I can do 10 reps at 90 kilos good morning and 10 reps with 72.5 kilograms pendly, but failed 190 kilogram deadlift. I think I'm doing something wrong. Well, I would say you need to film what these lifts look like. You film what these lifts look like. 190 kilo deadlift, low 400s. But, realistically, I can look at a lot of my lifters and look at your good mornings and say, okay, those are decent good mornings. That's about, for Americans, it's about 200 pounds for 10. Doing it with good form. Okay, doing it with good form. Because realistically, it's about what we would expect for a squat equivalent. Okay, 70%. Because if we can good morning and squat the same amount, that's the equivalent of doing, for you guys out there, about 200 pounds for 10 reps on a squat. Okay, where do you think that puts you in terms of your kilos? I don't know, 120, 130 kilo squat, maybe 130 kilo. How many 130 kilo squatters pull 190? A lot do. A lot can't. Come over to the pendly rows. Well, could be a back weakness. Are you cheating on those, or are they strict? Because that's not particularly strong. It's decently strong. If they're strict, if they're really strict, and you watched that video I made the other day showing the strictness on a pendly row, that's pretty decent. It's decent. If you can do them super strict without cheating, while actually protracting your scapula at the bottom, great. You should be able to deadlift that probably, or at least deadlift 180 kilos. But looking at the numbers, if that's not working, maybe there's something wrong with your basic deadlift technique. Maybe you just need to get stronger. Okay, maybe you need to get stronger. I mean, that's the other thing to look at too. You've got these lifts for your supplemental lifts are decent. Get stronger. Okay, if you can't lift the weight that you need to lift, get stronger on them. Get that good morning up to 100 kilos for 10. Get those pendly rows up to 90 kilos for 10, strict. And come back and deadlift your 200 kilos, not your 190. You just need to get stronger. That's always your solution to these problems. Just get stronger. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.